Hello everyone, what's up? Just kind of giving it a second for people to come in, and I'm just kind of wrapping up some stuff real quick. What's up, everybody? What is up? How's it going? Happy Monday. I see everybody is coming in. I'd like to mention this just with every stream. I'm streaming on multiple platforms, so if you hear me answering questions that are like from some that you don't see, that's why. So we got Facebook, Twitch, Periscope. What's up, everybody? I see the whole Discord, Patreon crew is here. What is up? You know, today is a special day, so I'm gonna play a special something for today. Happy May the 4th, everybody. This is my favorite part. Actually, in a little bit. So stupid. I think my favorite part's coming up. Yeah, it's this part. And that second voice comes in. Okay, thanks everybody. Just a stupid song to get us going. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna play some music while people come in, but thank you all for being here. Happy Monday. Actually, I didn't even prepare what I'm gonna start with, so I'm just gonna wing it. Let's just do it. I figured to start with Star Wars, but yeah. I did add a couple additions, which I'll get into in a little bit, but actually, okay, let's see here. Been doing that a lot. Yeah, gonna get copyrighted by Disney. We'll see. Thanks everybody. It seems like we still got some people coming in, but yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks, you. So on Twitch, I'm actually, it's all improv. I'm just making this up. So it's like bits and pieces of all kinds of different songs. I'll get into some questions in a little bit, but I'm gonna just play some music for a little bit. shout out to the Discord crew. What's up? You guys are always here, man. I appreciate it. So I'm like still kind of like learning the new layout and like all this stuff. I'll get into that in a second, but we got some analog delay now, which is two of them in stereo, which I'm having a lot of fun with. It's kind of hard to get the timing right, but it's fun. Okay, cool. There we go. Okay. Again, I'm still like kind of like getting used to this setup. So for those of you that showed up on Friday, I was actually doing a kind of a different set than I'm kind of back to my more typical live stream set, which I'm still working on. And as you can see in like the corner, it's version 0.2 now, which is just sort of like. It's meant to be more like, I'm starting to think of it as sort of like a playground, basically. Like, let me put everything in front of me, and then I could just like pick and choose different things, and it's all kind of like improv. It's not really meant to be like full songs, or I'm not really trying to like recreate. Like, I'm not gonna call it like live remixing or anything like that, but it is kind of along those lines, but just more low key, if that makes sense. So I'm seeing a lot of comments coming in, so I'm going to get into some of that. Actually, let me do that. Cool. I'm gonna try to be quicker today, because sometimes I think I take my time. So yeah, happy May the 4th be with you. Shout out Facebook. What's up? How's it going? Yeah, this delay. Okay, so whatever. I'll get into it now. Okay, so a couple new additions since last time. It's hard to. I think if I remember correctly, I think the last time I didn't have this. So this is new. I have now set up these two delays like on each side. They're panned a little bit left and right, and it's sort of like a dual delay. So, but it's digital and analog, but. So it's just a vocal sample. So I can add like feedback. And it's like two different delays, like. And anything I do here, it just acts like a normal return would in Ableton, and its sidechain is like compressed, it's EQ'd, all this stuff. So it's like, I've been having a lot of fun using Ableton as sort of the way it was intended, really, like as a live device, which has been a lot of fun. Like, the other side of this that's kind of fun is that, like, you know, a lot of these things are things that I would have liked to do in a live setting, you know, like bring all this gear, bring all these like delays and things like that. But like usually in a live setting, especially at a festival, you have so limited time. So I try to like kind of dumb it down a little bit. But for these live streams, I can just like, I actually set this up yesterday. I was just like hanging out, like playing around with it, and like be like, oh, okay, I can just leave it, and then tomorrow I'll play around, you know. What's the ID at 30 minutes and 50 seconds of Diplo? I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I did put, like, there's a track list on, I think on Facebook or whatever, so. Okay, Jonty, any remixes coming out for the boy singles? Yes, actually. Actually, that reminds me, I should bring this up. We announced it today. We're doing like so the album's out on May 8th. Surprise. For those of you on Patreon, you already heard it, which is rad. And yeah, that was fun. And but on Friday, we're doing like a whole like kind of release party thing, virtually, obviously. So it's like a full day of like programming, basically. Like I'm doing a whole bunch of like mixes for different magazines, and it's just gonna be like kind of a ton of stuff. For premiering like the Stuck on You music video, and what else are we doing? We're doing a lot. It's like, then I'm gonna have like a happy hour where I think it's on Instagram Live, where I'm actually just gonna be chatting with all the collaborators on the album. So like, yeah, I mean, Louis Child, like all these like cool people are gonna kind of jump on, and we're just gonna like hang out, have a drink, and talk about the record. And then after that, I think it's 7:30. I think that's when it starts. We're gonna have a whole bunch of like performances. So I got Hotel Garuda, Luna Shadows, Gold Room. Who am I missing? I think me, and then yeah, I think it's on my Instagram. I'm so bad at this. I should know it because we've been talking about it all day. But so it'll be fun. I'm stoked about it. It's like, we obviously can't do like a regular like release party for the album, so why not do a virtual one and just like, you know, kind of invite everybody. It's kind of more fun that way. Yeah, T-minus 4 days. Yeah, it's almost there. Oh, I guess like I should say, it's kind of a big one. On that day, I'm also going to be doing like a live stream where I'm playing the whole record, and then doing and then talking about it, you know, after, like answering questions about it, like things like that. So like full Q&A on the actual record specifically. Okay, Steve on YouTube. Andrea, is that going to be live or pre-recorded? So some of them are pre-recorded, some of them are live. It's kind of like, I obviously could, since I'm doing, I think like, I want to say like 5 different sets that day. Like some of them are, I already did them this weekend. But some of them will be live. But I'm going to actually end the night, so I'm going to finish everything. It's at like 9:30 PST, so it's like kind of late, but yeah, there's like, we just have like a full day of stuff. So I'm going to be, then I'll do like a live stream at the end of it, and that'll be sort of my Friday live stream as well. And that'll obviously be live or whatever. Oh, check out Club. It's like a club on Minecraft. That's pretty awesome. I always want to kind of do something on Minecraft, so if you have any suggestions. I mean, obviously I've played the game and done a lot of stuff with it, but it would be cool to do like one of those kind of live performance things. On Facebook, there's a question. It's like, what program are you using to broadcast? I'm using Streamlabs, which is basically like OBS, basically. But I'm using a whole bunch of like different cameras and stuff. How's this looking, by the way? Okay, I think we're good. Am I open to movie drive-in, like an outdoor festival where you're trying to enjoy? Yeah, I heard about this. It's like, like where people like all drive up in their cars and like watch a festival that way or something. I mean, I guess that's one way to do like social distancing. I don't know. I kind of just want to wait till all of this is like over and we can like, I don't know. Yeah, we can just like actually just do a normal show. Actually, there was like a question earlier. Is like, do I think that this is going to continue after things come back? Like, I actually think like live streaming was already kind of on the up and up, and so like I feel like it just needed a moment like this, where obviously it's unfortunate given, you know, everything that's happening, but live streaming just needed kind of like a moment for this to like really kind of take off. So do I think it's it's obviously not going to overtake like live music, but you know, I don't think it's going to go away. And I think what we're seeing right now is a lot of people like rushing into live streaming without really understanding it or knowing anything about it. And just, I talk about this a lot, but just like doing a whole bunch of performances and and like that'll get old pretty quick. So I feel like people are going to have to adapt and like do something different, because you can't just play the same set over and over again, you know? Which is part of the reason why, like, for those of you that saw that Friday set, like, it was, it's a little bit more polished than what I'm doing now, and I'm pretty aware of that, but it's like, that was also like a live touring rig that I performed all over the world for like 2 or 3 years, and that was sort of the culmination of it. So, like, this is me kind of building off of that, but starting from scratch again, specifically for live streaming, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kiki. First heard you in 2014 on my first hospital visit, and your wonderful music follows me through my physical therapy even today. It's amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Glad it, helped you in some way. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going, actually, like, why don't you guys leave some questions, and maybe I'll do just a quick explanation of what I'm doing for the people that are new, because that tends to happen. So, like I said, this is a complete live streaming system. It's not meant to be live performance, whatever, but these are essentially like, I have these loops that are basically just running all the time. So I can just throw in some drums. Actually, this didn't trigger correctly, so I'm glad I noticed that. It's supposed to fluctuate. That's probably why I was sounding a little stale, actually. Okay, so this is the drum track. That's pretty much it. The whole idea is that this is sort of just constantly fluctuating behind the scenes, and all I have to do to really play it is I have some parameters that I can mess with. Like, I can just throw in the drums, throw a filter on it. I actually have a filter on the percussion now, which is kind of new, which is fun. So I can just single out the kick and snare and then bring in something else. So that's fun to play, but it's like kind of dumbed down for me, so I don't have to think about it too much. And then the bass line, which is running through the TB03. It's kind of boring. There you go. Anyway, the idea is that the bass is always just running through this, and anytime I need to do something, I just reach over here. Then the JU06 here. Which is just running into this track, and then the JP08. And these are, I don't use these a lot in my own recordings, but they're sort of they're like newer, more modern versions of synths that I use a lot. So, yeah. So it's just like an easy, convenient way to have like a pretty powerful sound in like a very compact like area, basically. Because I have the real Juno up here. I don't have a Jupiter 8, which is probably sick, but so these are all kind of these are just always running and always kind of jumping around different melodies. Some of these are sort of pre-written, but the idea is that they all work together, and I can kind of just jump around and do whatever I want. So okay, so that's the Jupiter, and then I have all these loops, which are sort of based off of like remixes that I've done in the past. So for example, this is a guitar from my Temper Trap remix. And then like an arpeggiator from my Rostam track, and then some synths from home. This is from my Do Perot remix, but I can jump around to whatever I want. The idea that these are just like little loops. It's not meant to be the whole, it's not meant to be like the whole track, basically. So there's like little bits and pieces there. These are strings from Let Go. So where else can you hear like the synth from Home mixed with strings from Let Go, mixed with Rostam, mixed with like this? And then I didn't even get into the vocals, but there's a whole, oh wait, and then there's this contact library with Mellotron samples that okay, let me see what I can actually yes, Sam, to answer your question about about like loading the samples from the new album. I haven't had a chance to add like a lot of the new stuff. I want to go through and like add like a lot of the guitar stuff into the set, but I haven't quite yet. It's album release week, so it's a little bit intense right now. But I will get to that for sure. Because obviously I just want to keep expanding this, as we stream more. Oh, the other thing is like I kind of mentioned it, but like in the corner you see version 0.2. I'm sort of categorizing these as we go and building this over time. So. It also helps that I write a lot of like a lot of songs in C and D, so it's like pretty easy to pitch them together. I write in a lot of major keys too, so that it just kind of makes my job easier, I guess. Fernando, I've been doing a lot of press, honestly. It usually comes out like around the time the album actually comes, it'll probably come out on Friday. So I can kind of just jump around whatever I want, like. And they should more or less work. Okay, but let me show you some of the new additions here. So I can throw it in on this delay, which is pretty fun. Okay. It's just cool to like kind of like add an effect to something that is maybe a little static and just like, I don't know, it just makes it more fun, really. It can easily get too chaotic though, so I have to kind of watch that. That's the whole thing with this system, is like you can very quickly get a little bit overwhelmed with it, and it just sounds like garbage, so. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some questions here. Oh, Gina, you're a very good speaker, great multitasker, thank you. I actually feel like I'm a terrible multitasker. I often call myself a monotasker, but thank you, I appreciate that. Fernando, okay, your live is way different from what I'm seeing. I think it's awesome that you talk to us, super nice. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, a lot of the times when you see live sets, they're not actually live, they're pre-recorded, so there's no way to actually talk to people. I'm gonna keep complaining about that until people actually do it for real. Again, I talk about this every stream, but like, I think it's, live streaming is a new medium. It's like part of the appeal is to be able to talk to people. Like, where else can I actually do this? I can't do this at a live set, I can't actually just like loop something for, I don't know, 10 minutes. Like, that's just not gonna happen. So it's kind of nice. Okay, cool. Nate on Facebook said, unrelated, but I blasted Let Go of my work. Costco in Salinas, California. What's up, Salinas, California? Fan of a lot of your work, but this one gets me every time. Thanks for the opportunity to see inside your mind. Oh no, thank you. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate that. And honestly, like, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. It's like, I'm still kind of blown away that everybody still shows up for all of these, because I've been streaming quite a bit. By the way, the schedule's in the corner if you want to look at that. YTech, yeah. Yeah, aren't you like the founder? Isn't the like you have like a founder status on Twitch or something like that? Yeah. Okay. So like the Friday stream is like it's so much more like kind of dialed in. It's much more closer to a performance because it was my touring rig. But like the thing is, like, I can maybe get away with doing that maybe 3 or 4 more times until it gets like old, because it's pretty structured, it was meant to be like a live set, something you see maybe once or twice, not like 3 times a week, so this is my attempt to make something a little more general that I can just kind of jump around, and it should be enough variety that it doesn't get old, that's the hope. And then I keep adding more gear and fun stuff, so that's part of the appeal. Alex, okay. Oh, sorry, Fernando, I jumped over you. Fernando, are you doing press interviews for the album release? Yes, doing a lot of that. Alex, okay, any plans for synced visuals in future streams? I could do that, but these are so loose that I'm not really like... I feel like, I mean, just put on Star Wars in the background. Like, I could do something like that, but I don't know. I don't think that's really the purpose here. I could change my mind. I could go back to that. I don't know, but... Okay, on Twitch, I'm not gonna attempt to say that, but I'm starting to get a better grasp of the hardware. Can you explain how you interpret what's going on in Ableton, like the color horizontal blocks? So, if you can see, yeah, I think you can see this. It's kind of hard to, you know, I was actually thinking about putting this up on Patreon for people that want it, but like, basically, this block right here are drums. I think you can kind of see that in that camera up there. These are drums, these are synths, these are vocal samples, these are samples, these are guitar samples, and this is kind of just like mirrored kind of on this controller. So the drums are here. It would be cool to add delay to the drums actually. Let me see if I can do that. It could get muddy pretty quick. So I realize it's not like you can't really see any of this, but the idea is that I just organize them by color. Like, you know, I sort of stare at this the entire stream, so like I kind of know where things are. You know, it's not. It could be better organized at this point. There's a lot of stuff in there that is sort of just like temporary while I like work through and like workshop it. So like some of the streams I did some like classical music improvisation type stuff, and that's like a whole system here, but that's like disabled right now, you know, because I'm working on this. But yeah, there's not really a full structure to it yet. Oh, thanks, Lindsay. Thanks for being here. Okay. Garnson. Hey, Andre, I listened to your album Ego today. I love the way all the songs transition to one another. Made for great listening. Yeah, yeah, that album is like exactly 1 hour long, and there's interludes throughout the whole thing, so it's like meant to be kind of one listen. You know, you're supposed to sit down and listen to it, and yeah, I remember it's kind of funny because like I brought it to I went over to Spotify to like show them the album, and like we had a meeting and whatever, and I remember them being like, oh yeah, that's great for playlisting. As in like that's terrible for playlisting, because it's like anytime you start the song, there's like this residual like overlap stuff that doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I don't know if that hurt the album or not, but it was sort of a creative decision, and it's yeah, I don't really want to have like a playlist decide how I create music. So but yeah, so like I don't know, it was just like sort of just like it was important to me to like make something that was cohesive, you know, that's from start to finish. And I think I've talked about this on stream before. Like on my first album, they which I was signed to Interscope, they actually, even though I delivered them a full album, which ultimately came out as Strangers, when it actually was first released, they released it in 2 parts. Against my wishes, by the way, which I begged them not to, but they still did. So I actually think that Ego, the fact that it was like continuous, was sort of just like a residual like trauma from like from somebody like kind of ruining like that experience for me. So like, yeah, obviously I've gotten over it. Dan on Facebook. Okay, what's your favorite songs on the new album? I have to say, maybe I think my favorite song on the album is probably MIA. It's not out because it's not one of the singles. That doesn't mean that I don't like the singles. It's just like that song has like kind of special meaning to me, I guess. Caleb. Okay. I get this like massive notification every time like somebody like follows me, so it's like really distracting. I should turn that off. Caleb's asking on YouTube, so like when you're writing, do you sing or have vocal ideas, or leave that up to vocal collabs? Most of the time I leave it up to the collaborator. I just like want them to you know, feel empowered to kind of do their thing, and you know, and I'm doing so much on the instrumental side that I'd rather just let them do their thing. You know, I'll chime in if I need to, or, you know, to be honest, like if somebody's like completely off base and just doesn't get the vibe, like the song just never makes it on the record, if that makes sense. So yeah, I usually let people kind of do their thing while giving them sort of a framework, but I don't sing myself, no. Zan, yeah. So yeah, I'm always trying to like kind of change up the sets, and you know, just keep it interesting. I think it'd be boring if you always do the same thing over and over again. Like I kind of feel for those like, I mean, the more like gaming oriented streamers that are, you know, playing Fortnite all day. I mean maybe they just love the game that much, but it's like that's got to get old at some point, man. Like if you're doing like 8 hours a day, yeah, I can't imagine doing that. Mr. Key, okay, what are some of your favorite headphone speaker setups? So these are the Grado SR80s. Let's see if I can get that in frame. They're pretty cheap actually. They're not, I mean, Grado makes some really high-end stuff, and like I really like them. I think they're great. The speakers, I use the SE Monroe Eggs, which you can kind of see them in that frame, but yeah, I think speakers and headphones are more about like at least having sort of a baseline quality, but more than anything, it's actually just how well you know them and if you can mix with them. Like some people will always try to sell you like some like super high-end thing, and like maybe there's a benefit to that, but I think it's more about like knowing your system and knowing how to use it. I'd say that's true for a lot of gear, actually. Carter on Twitch, like, nice specs, bro. Thank you. Oliver Peoples. They're actually the same glasses as Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. Yeah, I think by the way, I set the on YouTube, I set the latency to be a lot quicker, so hopefully these questions are more like in time, you know, with when I'm looking at them, basically. John, okay, I've been trying to find ways to jam with my other musician friends during COVID. Any tips for remote collaboration? Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one. A lot of people are sort of dealing with that because latency is such an issue, like with these types of things, that the only real way to do it is just like take turns, and I'm not aware of any software that really does that well. So I feel like the way to do it is just by, you know, like essentially just sending files back and forth, like just archive or create like an Ableton archive or whatever and just pass it back and forth, or just share a Dropbox link. Just make sure that people aren't working on it at the same time. I think Splice has some functionality like that, but I've never really used it. So I don't know, I would look into that. But like any kind of like real-time jamming, I don't know that it's possible. It's kind of unfortunate, actually, because that would be awesome. But I think that's like sort of a technical issue, just like one of the limitations of the internet, you know. Just you need such, I mean, even recording locally, you need such latency, so it doesn't like feel weird. I mean, because like when you're playing an instrument, you feel it when even like a 512 buffer or whatever, you can kind of tell like it's not dead on. Okay, Ragged Company recordings on YouTube is like, how do you find vocal collaborations? That's a lot of it is like through friends, through people that I worked with in the past, my management, the label, sometimes requests. It's kind of all over the place. I've just been doing this for a long time, and yeah, it's sort of just networking through the music industry, basically. Okay, Romaine on YouTube. It's like, what do you use to live stream? I like the setup, thank you. I get this question so often. Streamlabs and /OBS and Fuji X-T3. Today, actually, I'm using Fuji Prime, for those of you that care, GoPro, and an iPhone 6, and a Razer Keo. Mr. Kiki, I apologize for many questions. No, it's all good. I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm going to jump into some music in a little bit, but okay. I love your music videos. Do you have a lot of input to those stories and such? Yes. Well, it's sort of like different people approach it differently. Most of the time what happens is you get pitched ideas. So it's like you have a song, it goes out to all these music video directors, and whoever likes it, whoever wants to work with it, will pitch like an idea, like a PDF basically. And they'll be like, okay, this is my idea for this song. What do you think? I can do it in your budget, basically. And, depending on what size of artist you are, you can have anywhere from like 5K to, I don't know, some of the major label stuff is, I don't know, 500. So like it's kind of all over the place. So like the scope of the video kind of changes based on that. So like I remember, so you get these treatments or these PDFs with all these ideas, and I just kind of like, I just pick from there. I pick my favorite ideas from there. I don't try to like nitpick, be like, oh, what about this? Or what if you put me in it? Or, something like that. I'm not like, I see it as sort of like giving another creative an opportunity to create something. So that's my approach to it, basically. Okay. And especially excited to hear your song with Emerson Leaf. Very keen for this Friday. Yeah, so that's the song Next to You, which for those of you that have been coming to the streams know I play that song a lot here. But I have only played the vocal. No, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's so good, and I'm really stoked about that song specifically. Here, I'll play a little bit of it. Why not? Oops.
They try to tell me I shouldn't waste my time with you. You keep me hanging on to every.
This isn't the actual song, by the way. This is just the vocal.
I think about it more than necessary. And I try to play like it ain't nothing new. You know that you make it look good, look good. I bet you get it all the time though, don't you? You are always on my mind. You are always there. I feel it when I'm next to you. Hey. I'm hoping like crazy you tell me that you feel it too. Wanna feel it when I'm next to you. You know you make it look good, make it look good.
I think I'm like off on the metering, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
They try to tell me I shouldn't waste my time with you. Talking, you keep me hanging on to every delicate word from just right it through. I think about it more than necessary. And I try to play like it ain't nothing new.
Cool vocal, thanks.
It look good. I feel it when I'm next to you. Hey. I'm hoping like crazy you tell me that you feel it too. Make everything feel like it's brand new, like the first time. You are always on my mind. You
Some people on Facebook were asking, what are these vocals? So this is a new song off the new record, but this isn't the actual song. These are just vocals from that song. So I'm just like kind of messing around. I'm not really doing anything. There's some comments on YouTube. It's like the original is actually much slower. It's like kind of a totally different vibe, but like from just playing around in the stream, I'm like, well, that kind of works. Like, I don't know. It's funny, like after kind of like messing around on Friday with like the old setup, I'm like, there's so many things I want to kind of add to this now, but I just haven't gotten around to it, yeah. Because like, there's like a lot of little nuances, like these aren't faders, they're filters. So I can just like, if I bring it down to here, it filters out the highs, filters up the lows. So like, so you can create like arrangement space. It's not that exciting on its own, but like, cool about this delay is that like it's an actual real like analog delay made by Moog. So yeah, by the way, I think you can see it on camera. This is the MF delay by Moog, the Mini Foger, and the digital delay DD3. By the way, just I hope people know that it's Moog and not Moog. Just get that right, guys. So like these delays come in real handy, like when I'm playing around with like these kind of fast, like little plucky sounds. Here, let me get. That to me is awesome. Hard to get the time though. There we go. Some distortion even. Cool. Just getting to this, just kind of scrolling up here. Sam, in my opinion, the new album should be huge. Flow So Demo. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the flow of a record is like super important to me. Probably more important than anything else. There are times where like I'll really like a song, but if it doesn't fit in the context of an album, I'll just use it somewhere else. So like, yeah. Like I know that everybody loves write all these op-ed pieces about how the album's dead and like all this stuff, but like I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I love records. That's how I like to listen to music. So I feel like an album is like a blank canvas to like really show what you got, and I take it seriously. Okay. Steve, it's funny how this song is so much slower than this, and it's amazing. Yeah, it's I feel like I kind of made the mistake of playing the I played it on one of the streams, and I played it after the fast version. It feels so slow. I was like, oh no. But I think in the context of the album, it works. Everybody's asking about the vocals, yeah. Hopefully you guys, yeah, it looks like you guys answered. Okay. Oh, Greg, just saw this right now. Thank you very much. Cool. Yeah, so Lindsay, yeah, so Lose a Child's gonna jump on Instagram, and we're just gonna kind of talk about some of the music that we made I think for that was like Instagram Live. I'll just be drinking because I'll be like I've been like streaming all day, so I think I'll need a break by then. Corbelick, what's up, Corbelick? How's it going on Twitch? Okay, Fernando. My brother works for a music website in Brazil, an MTV Brazil partner. Are you guys still taking interview requests? If so, who should email? Yes. Okay. So if you go to rac.fm, just my website. Shout out. There's an about page. It has my manager's email. You can just hit him up, and his name's Zale, so you'll see it. But yeah, no, we're definitely still doing stuff for sure. Always doing stuff. Bert, okay, is this live mixing how you go about finding ideas for supporting a vocal take as in chords flow of a song? To include, not to? No, this isn't really a method that I normally use. I mean, although I am quite enjoying it, so maybe it will sort of like stuff in the future, The way I work is actually quite linear. So yeah, but the way that I built this is because I already know that a lot of these sort of chord progressions work on everything basically. So it was just a matter of kind of adding that in there. Okay. Mr. Kiki, do you have any love for old-timey Moog recordings? Any recommendations for early era of electronic stuff? Yeah. I mean, Wendy Carlos, Switched on Bach, or like a well-tempered synthesizer as well. I mean, any of those like early synth stuff. I mean, even the Buchla stuff is pretty interesting, although that's like a whole other camp, but yeah. Okay. Oh, Greg, I think I already saw it, but I have a meet and greet for your STL show. Here's to hoping it happens next month. Okay, so update on the tour. Well, there really is no update, but yeah. So as everybody is more than aware, obviously we can't tour right now for obvious reasons. So I have tour dates that actually start at the end of this month and on May 30th, which to be honest are most likely not happening. But we have backup dates for like everything. So we have backup dates in August and September, and we're already looking at stuff even later than that. So it'll happen at some point. It's just like we're kind of at the mercy of this virus, and live shows are the last thing to come back. So when it's ready and it's safe, we'll come out and play, and and that'll be that. So it's like I kind of don't really know if that show specifically is gonna happen on the scheduled date, but we'll figure it out. Okay, and that minimalist style of your music is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, there's power in like simple ideas. Okay. Saskia on Facebook is asking, what's the main advantage of using plugins for doing on DAW? Interesting question, actually, because I use a lot of built-in DAW stuff. I use a lot of built-in Ableton plugins, so I only use like specialty plugins when it's like something really specific that I want. But like if I just need a compressor, I'm not gonna go add some like fancy, compressor plugin. I'm just gonna use the built-in Ableton compressor because it serves its function. It's a good, it's sort of just like a good way to do it. Okay. Shark Fighter 14, great name. What kind of input do you have in lyric writing process? Do you let it feature or give them ideas? Yeah, so I kind of answered this a little bit earlier, but basically I let them kind of do whatever they want, honestly. If it's really off base, I just don't use it. Okay, so apologies if somebody asked, how do you get connected with Archades? Over Instagram. Yeah, she's great. She's awesome. And so we I knew that I wanted to do something special for the Diplo and Friends mix because it's like Saturday night on like the biggest radio station in the UK. So I'm like, I thought it would be kind of cool to like work with like a UK based poet, and she's awesome and super talented. So it was a no brainer, And also, I had never really done anything with spoken words, so it was like interesting to sort of take something that she recorded and like, it's not remixing, it's like sort of write something underneath it. Okay, hello on YouTube is like, what model is your Grado? So these are the SR80. What? Yeah, SR80s. Just want to make sure. Ragged. Okay. Did you write in just one key, or how did you match all the music, the vocal, while jamming just now? I don't always write in C. I do pretty often because I'm lazy, but it's just easier. It also works for a lot of people's vocal ranges, so there's that. But if it's not in C, I'll just pitch it. So some of this stuff sounds a little wonky, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Like that's not the original key of that. That's actually Liz singing. I think this one. This is like the Rossum chorus in reverse, you know. Okay, Brian. Oh, thank you, Brian, by the way. Yeah. Sorry, I only saw it now. Okay, really enjoyed the album listening party on Saturday. Thanks again for doing that, Dre. Also, shout out to Steve for putting together the MP3s from all the streams. Who needs Spotify anymore? Okay, yeah. So, mega shout out to Steve, because Steve has been very kindly categorizing and recording all the audio from all these streams, because again, I'm just like improvising. These aren't fully formed songs or whatever. So he's been recording those, organizing them, putting them in a folder, in like a Google Drive folder, so you can like always search it. And he's made it available to all the Patreon supporters, which I greatly appreciate. So shout out to Steve. Always a big supporter. Okay, Mr. Kiki, looks like you answered that for me. So yeah, I have like this really long delay in there that's just like kind of nice for these. Just kind of washes over. It's kind of cool. Yeah, Winnie Collars is awesome. Okay, Emma Love on Twitch is like, what remixes are you the most proud of? Most proud of. I mean, like, I think about this a lot. It's hard for me to pick one because I've done like 250. Like, it's there's a lot there. I would say. I mean, I always go back to the Shins because it was the first one. It was sort of symbolic. It kind of started my whole career. You know, it's kind of a big deal for me. And then there's a couple like along the way that were really kind of like milestones. So like I think the Lana Del Rey one was another one. On a more personal level, the one I did for James Vincent McMorrow, it's a song called Evil, which I really like that remix, and it did fine. It wasn't like a huge hit or anything like that, but you know, I'm super proud of it. Yeah, by the way, like if there's repeat questions, I appreciate you guys kind of like answering for me. Yeah. Yeah, Derek, so that's one of the kind of fun things about the system is that like, to maybe like if I'm like reading a question, I just like change it up a little bit. So it's like constantly doing something. What's up, Blues? How's it going? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Key. Okay. Yeah. I would actually recommend, like, if you guys are ever on the streams and want to listen with headphones, there's a lot of stereo stuff happening that's fun. Wait, where is that? I love how this like kind of distorts, like. You know, just analog stuff. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, SR80s are like $80. I think they're super affordable and they're great. YTech, yeah. So again, I guess maybe I'll take this opportunity to shill the Patreon a little bit, just because it's like kind of a new thing. I mean, I'm sure people in the chat can vouch for it, but basically it's sort of like this it's basically a platform where I'm able to share like a ton of like B-sides, a lot of music that I don't normally get to release, and it's sort of had the interesting side effect, which I didn't see this, but like in the Discord there's like a little community, and like people are really supportive, and there's a lot of like kind of music creators and things like that, like if you want to get feedback on your music and things like that, and a lot of cat content and now DAO content and things like that. So it's I try to put like if I'm doing some kind of thing that it maybe doesn't warrant like a full-blown release, like it's nice to kind of throw it in there, because it's an audience that like likes what I do, so like I appreciate that, you know. Okay. Ireland represent, what's up? Okay, Derek, how does one do it technically? Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, how do I do it technically? I think you're talking about the filters. So I have filters at 2 stages. One is like actually on the synth. So like if I open up, so, you know, this is the filter that I'm playing that's actually on the hardware, but then I have a software filter on it. So then I could just like bring it down. But if I have an effect on it, it can make it wash over, basically. Hope that makes sense. Oh, cool. You and Jamie XX are what I run tests for whenever I try a new headset. That's awesome. Glad to hear. Because a lot of effort goes into the sound. So, speaking of which, this is actually the new album that's coming out on Friday. Is actually my first. Well, it's the first album that I've mixed of my own. I mixed all the remixes and stuff like that. So I know what I'm doing, but like, but it was the first time where I wasn't working with my friend Andrew. So like I tried to do, I tried to kind of do my own thing there, which was fun. So I spent a lot of time on that. Okay, Saskia, when you were starting on Facebook, when you were starting out, how did you get access to all the track layers, the songs you were remixing? Is there any way I can fuck up for tracks to practice on? So this was difficult, but I did everything officially. I did everything for hire, basically. I somehow convinced people to hire me to do remixes. So that was kind of a struggle at first, but I'm glad I put that effort in and wasn't doing like bootleg stuff, because then it sort of solidified my place, I guess, at the time. So so like it's hard for me to like suggest to do that now, because it's like a completely different environment. Like a lot of people kind of expect people, if they're starting out, to do free remixes, which I don't think is healthy, but because you should value your time. But there are remix contests, like if you just want to like you said, like practice, like I would definitely recommend like contests. Speaking of which, I think I'm probably gonna do like a contest of my own. I don't know if you want to do that, but and those they're not necessarily copyright free, but you can definitely practice on them. You just can't release them commercially, you know. Steve, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm just catching up now. Thanks for the shout out. Hope everybody's enjoying those MP3s. Can't wait to hear some more jams tonight. Yeah, that's Steve Artist Collective. Yes. We have had kind of a running joke with these streams where apparently there's a lot of Steves. I don't know. So renaming the project to SAC. Mr. Kiki, yeah. So the streams are all available if you want to watch them. They're kind of long, so but you know you can watch them all. Looks like you guys are already answering that. Waiting for whistle time. Okay, Roger. Sam, okay, can you do a choir boy or echo boy tips and tricks type video with the Patreon for the album business side? Yeah. I have a meaning to do more of like more of like production specific things like that. But also like, you know, if you have requests like that, yeah, by all means, that's helpful, because otherwise I'm just like, where to start, you know? The artist formerly known as RAC, yes. Do people know why Prince changed that name? Is because he sold the rights to it, and that's why, because he sold it for like a bunch of money, and then it was like, I don't need it, like I just call myself the artist formerly known, and that's how I did it. Oh, hey Freddie, just saying hello to you. Hope things are going well for you. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm chilling in quarantine. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit of music, but leave some questions, and I'll get to them in a second. That sounds so weird. Actually, I kind of want to try reversing some of these. Let's see if this works. This could be horrible, I don't know. It's kind of cool. Kinda works. Oh, thank you, Freddie. Appreciate that. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Okay, now that the reverse thing is kind of fun, now I want to try it on a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's. Actually, it's kind of cool. Once you get used to it, like. It's kind of weird. Let's see what this like. I'm into this actually. I'm just gonna reverse everything. It kind of gives everything like a new life, you know? Because some of these samples are getting a little stale. Yeah, I guess today's a reverse day. I guess we got the reverse whistle, so. Brian, thank you. Sorry if I didn't acknowledge it, but I did see it. The reverse effects are super interesting. It sounds like Sigaros or something. Yeah, so Sigaros uses that technique a lot. I mean, obviously they're singing a different language too, but they do use a lot of reverse stuff. Yeah, this is probably like super confusing for dogs. Like. So I can just like quickly just bring it down for a second. I think it'd be amazing if you're able to do a Patreon stream of breaking down the mix of one of your sessions, maybe something real production dense, so just carefree. Yeah, no, 100%. That actually is something that I want to do. Yeah, for the Patreon, like that's kind of what I meant by like when I listed like production tutorials. Obviously, like right now with the album, it's like kind of chaos, but like in the next couple weeks, like once things slow down, I'll definitely be able to do that. And I want to, because it's like there's so much to go over. Thank you, Matthias. Appreciate that. I'm always a nerd about this stuff. It's kind of funny that I kind of figured this out on the stream, but I would have liked to do that before, but whatever. It's all good. Okay, so I see some questions coming in, but I'm going to just play a little bit more music. Thing is, I have to like make a copy of this so I don't overwrite the original whistle. I don't want to lose the original yet. There we go. Oh, what if this? Maybe let's see how this works. That's kind of funny. I think it works better on the longer stuff. Let's see here.
You're the garden I see you design in your empty room.
Actually, that was out of key. Never mind. Nope. that's not what I want either. Real professional over here, just messing around. Okay, hold on.
Oh, what a masterpiece. The way we were dancing on this mega wheel. Yeah, on this mega wheel. Yeah, on this mega wheel. Yeah, on this mega wheel.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, on this mega wheel. 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 Yeah, on this mega wheel.
I feel like I have to have something better here. It is like oi oi or whatever, like.
Işte bu okna sus Die mouth smaakt heel it's a message die rock As it gone nobody get was who's die na Ik sam ja moet je al wat ik is Verlek sam ja moet je al wat ik is Verlek ik zeg verlek moet je al 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 moet je doing, hold on. Okay, that's that. It's like hard to kind of tell what's happening. So, somebody suggested like layering the two, the one going forward and the reverse one. But I think you kind of have to do. Let me try this.
What? I just want to get ahead of some of these questions because they're coming in quick, so. Dominic, okay, do you create your own album artwork? Most of the time, no. But I am very involved in the curation of said artwork. So I just find artists that I really like and have them do their thing. You know, it's worked out for me. It's a very short answer, but it's a pretty important part of the record making process for me. Ryan on YouTube, or sorry, on Facebook is like, okay, all the equipment filters you have in front of you, is this all stuff you owned or some stuff that you had added for the live streams? So I think what you're maybe referring to is that stuff, and no, I've had that forever. I've had that for a long time. But this stuff, this is all things that I've added for the live stream. I mean, it's stuff that I had in the studio, but I'm sort of repurposing for this, if that makes sense. Daniel, I have serious jealousy about multi-camera setup. Might have to pick up your brain about it. Oh yeah. This is, it's interesting because like, it's interesting that live stream became like a thing during COVID, but I had sort of already been looking into it for a couple years, really. So I got lucky. I was sort of like ahead of the curve a little bit. Like I was sort of prepared. I had some of the equipment. I had like capture cards and like all this other stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous setup right now. But I'm kind of just going for it. Okay, this is like watching a painter paint. How fascinating. Yo, Patlock, what's up? What's up? How's it going? Patlock is on Twitch, but okay. Also, just go check out Patlock's music, by the way. I feel like he pops in the streams every once in a while, but you should check it out. Okay, slicing the sample to MIDI possible in this mode. I don't use that function very much. I think slicing to MIDI stops the music, so I don't know. I mean, you can, whatever, I'll just try it. Like, slice to new MIDI track. Slice per transient. No, I'm gonna do like 16th notes. Oh, I guess it didn't stop. Oh, that sounds so weird. Oh, it also doesn't have the... Because I have like auto-tune running on all the vocals, so it automatically puts it in C, at least roughly, you know. So it is doable, yeah. But that's cool. I never tried that. Brian, okay, it's fascinating. When it works, it does work. When it doesn't, it's quite hilarious. Yeah, it's true. Like, yeah. I mean, I hope people know I'm just messing around, you know. Kind of like that one. What am I summoning right now? Yeah, something. Daniel, yeah. I'm still catching up with comments, but yeah, that was a little bit of that Edward Sharp remix in there. I don't know if you guys remember when Sigur Rós first came out. There was like all these articles about how it was. I don't know if this is actually true. If it was like a made-up language or not. They called it like Hopelandic or something. It's so corny. Yeah, I remember that. Thanks everybody. Glad you guys are enjoying this. I'm still kind of hanging out here. Okay. This is one of the best evenings I've had since quarantine started, come to think of it. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here. Oh wow. Going for an hour and a half. Time flies, I guess. What is time anyway? Time is an illusion. We're all gonna die one day. It's not just vocals that I can reverse. It's like all this other fun stuff. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we got a Bobo. Does he wanna come into the stream? Oh, you were getting scratched. Oh, don't give him to me. He's gonna destroy me. Okay, buddy. Okay. Oh, he's gonna get fur everywhere. Wait. Okay, alright. Say hi to the stream, or say hi to Liz, everybody.
Where's the camera?
Well, there's 1, 2, 3,
Hi.
4. There's
Hi.
one over there. That is one huge cat. Yes, it is. He's a very big boy. He has a very specific diet, but he is he's a big boy. Sorry, I'm just catching up with some stuff here. Justin, okay, I've been listening to you for so many years. I must watch you in concert. Love it. Thank you, Justin, on Facebook. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully after all this is over, I can actually play shows again. That'd be nice. Jen, thanks for doing this. Changed my mood. That's good to hear. Well, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's enough negativity in the world. Might as well have a good time. Okay. Shark Fighter, yo, I say time is illusion all the time. Yeah, no, it's true. It's completely true. Okay, that is... Hey Liz, hey Liz, hey Liz, hey Liz, what's up Liz? And then she's gone. Just so many comments, okay. Okay, Alexa on YouTube, when did you start doing these live streams? Well, technically I did start, I think was it last year? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I started a while ago. I did one and then stopped for a year because it was just a test run. And then once COVID happened, I was home a lot. So I was like, okay, well maybe now's the time to do that. Maybe it was 2017. I don't know. It was a while. Yeah, but that's when I sort of, somebody was kind of asking about this earlier, when I started to experiment with the live streaming thing. I was still using my live setup, and I realized that that wasn't going to work for me to do it consistently. So it took a global pandemic for me to be okay, now's the time. I'm going to sit down and actually build an actual system, for live streaming. Okay, I want to try to reverse some of these samples. That kind of works. It's kind of cool. So this is a reverse sample of my Youngblood Hawk remix mixed with the timber trap guitar. That was the Youngblood Hawk reverse. This is from B, which is off Ego. The reverse kind of works, like, and then the strings from Let Go. I'm trying to find this one vocal though. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but
Never again, that's what you said. Because you loved a girl and she wrecked your head. Oh, you loved a girl and she left you dead. Cheap wine, watching VHS, singing Johnny Cash, I want the line. Oh, Johnny Cash, because you're mine. Bed on the floor, but not fall asleep and stare at the window, cover me. Running through my legs, big sleeps and lazies, the same's not the same. Polaroids and love, running through my legs, big sleeps and lazies, not the same's not the same. But you're
it wasn't the vocal that I wanted, but I'm gonna try to see if I can find it because I think it'll work. Oh, maybe this will work.
Come on, just smile to me. Do it slowly. My hands, my feet, my body, take everything. Reduce it all to crystal blackness. 'Cause when there's something
actually, you know. I wanna know your way, but I don't wanna know too much. I had a dream last night, and it was. Sometimes I lie down on the floor, and I think I hear a sound. It might be coming from next door, but I don't wanna make it out. I don't wanna make it out. No, I don't wanna make it out. We used to say this song made us feel some type of way. It used to make us both feel free. Underneath the covers you would grab my hand, say you never listen to that me. Thanks, Steve. Sometimes I lie down on the floor, and I think I hear a sound. It might be coming from next door, but I don't wanna make it out. We used to say this song made us feel some type of way. It used to make us both feel free. Underneath the covers you would grab my hand, say you never listen to that me. Without feeling your eyes, so I don't go out, and it don't bring me down. The same time. Some type of way. It used to make us both feel free. Underneath the covers you would grab my hand. You'd say you never listen to that me. We used to say this song made us feel some type of way. It used to make us both feel free. Underneath the covers you would grab my hand. You'd say you never listen to that me. I really like that. This, like, the combo of, like, wait, hold on. This mixed with that. Let me see, where's that? I think it was Carefree. This is the reverse vocal of Carefree, which I'm just playing around with now. Oh, actually, I want to try this. A bit too much, but this kind of works. Alright, I have this too. So I'm just kind of like messing around here to see what I can find. So that's like a reverse Juno from my Two-Door Cinema Club remix. Oh, sick. We're up to 115 F's in the chat. What is up? No, seriously, thanks, guys. Also, one of my favorite things about the streams is that I can just kind of sit down and drink tea and like just chill. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love performing live, but it's like, this is so much more relaxing. Are we at 200 for 200? Are we getting to 200? Probably not, but I believe in you guys. 120 is possible, yeah. I mean, we need 5 people, yeah. Thanks, guys. Oh, wait. Speaking of cigarettes, it is kind of like cigarettes. Like. Yeah, I guess like it is kind of like an effective way to just listen to the album early. But you know, whatever. I wouldn't let that be the only reason to do that. There's a lot of other stuff in there that's cool, but I'm tired of that sample. Cigarette. That's funny. Nate, okay, have you ever considered working with a remix in telekinesis? I'm actually not familiar, but drop a link and I'll check it out. All right, we're 4 left.
They try to tell me I shouldn't waste my time with you.
No, that's too much. Okay, that's the culprit. See, sometimes like there's like too much stuff going on, you know? Yeah, let's try it.
Look so good in that sweater, boy. In your double cuff jeans, so you're not like the other guys. Ooh, I'm just sipping on my white wine. But when I lean in, you smell like vodka and crystal light. You look so good in that sweater, boy. In your double cuff jeans, so you're not like the other guys. Ooh, I'm just sipping on my white wine. But when I lean in, you smell like vodka and crystal light. You look so good in that sweater, boy. In your double cuff jeans, so you're not like the other guys. Ooh, I'm just sipping on the white wine. But when I lean in, you smell like vodka and crystal light. That's what I
Yeah, I think Manny J's voice got a little lower than normal. So, I actually don't have a whole lot of the stuff on the new album like loaded into this yet, so I can't play like some of that stuff. But I just have like little bits of like some vocals. So I don't have like any of the like Gomes or Arcoiris or anything like that. Let's see what else I got. Oh wow, okay, it's already 8. I might actually I might play like kind of like I think like maybe like 1 or 2 more and call it, just because like I'm going to be streaming tomorrow night too, and I want to have some work to do on this thing. Also, I have to shoot like a promo video for the new record and all that, so I have a busy day ahead of me still. Wait, somebody asked for this. Wait, it's not
Stumbling, drunk through the garden, I see you design in your empty room. Now the seduction gets old with the dots and all the crosses, but symmetry looks good on you. Oh, you got everything you want, damn. You got everything you need, damn. I know it's hard to believe, oh, that you got what you want, damn. To say that you don't need it, baby. Oh, ain't it such a beautiful game? It's too fast. It's too slow. You can't be serious. It's a lie to think of this love as anything but laughing at a choir boy. So what you gonna do now? The die's been cast and the wheel starts spinning, rotating till the cycle lasts. You got everything you want, damn. You got everything you need, damn. No, it's hard to believe, damn.
I love delays. It's so much fun. By the way, that vocal part.
You got everything you want.
It's totally like me ripping off Nelly. I don't know if you guys catch that.
Now that you got what you want, you're never gonna need it, baby. Oh, ain't it such a beautiful game? You got everything you want, you got everything you need. You want it, you got it, you take it, throw it away. You got everything you want, you got everything you need. You want it, you got it, you take it, throw it away.
See if I can find specifically what I'm talking about. All right, stop these guitars going. Yeah, where's that vocal part? That part right there.
It's too fast.
Oh, Lee on a Periscope. Okay. I was just listening to your Koopa Beach remix the other day and saying how it is quintessential. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being here on Periscope. Not many people on that platform, but yeah, no, I appreciate you being here. Okay, Strange Live. What monitoring speakers is RC using? The Monroe Eggs, SE Monroe Eggs. Okay, I think I'm gonna probably wrap it up, but you know, actually, I think since I only get to play this like once a year, so wait. Channels. Okay, so as a, I'm just gonna end with this again. Yeah, may the 4th be with you. Oh yeah, the Star Wars movie is actually almost ending, so. Yeah, see y'all in the Discord. Okay, that's my favorite part here. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Hey, Bobo.